Hi there, my name's Alan Stockdale. Welcome to another video of Escape the Prison Matrix. Today I've got a guest what you've probably never heard of at all, because I never had until a couple of weeks ago. It's somebody basically who watched one of my videos, the latest one I did with Michelle Walling. She's been looking for somebody to tell a story to try and get it out to the masses. And for some reason she connected to my dulcet northern English tones and liked what she heard. So she sent me a message on Facebook and asked me to introduce herself, because she was a friend of mine already, I do believe. And then she just said, "Are you interested to hear my story?" Straight away I felt a connection to this, whatever it was, but I had no idea what the story was. But I said, "Yeah, go ahead, tell me." So we proceeded to talk to each other over Skype and message each other quite a lot. And basically she gave me a pretty good idea what a story's about. So all I want to do is just tell you a little bit about what it's going to be, and then I'll just let her take it away and put it in her own words. So to put it into a sort of very simple terms, her name's Marian, and she knows that she's got a message, and she's also got a gift, what she's used, and she's using to help Mother Earth. Now, Mother Earth has put a call out basically to SOAR to say, look, it's time for me to ascend, whatever word you want to use, get rid of all this negativity on Earth, and Marian's just part of that process to help ascend, basically help people to go to the levels that we should be at already, what we've been put under this veil, as we've talked about before in my videos, and it's basically her job just to help along with that. There's a lot more to this story. She's proved to me she has got powers, psychic powers. She's told me stuff about my late father, what nobody knew, what I didn't even know until I verified it with my brother. She's told me something about my new dog, things what he does, things what he likes, and they're all true. Lots and lots of examples, what we can go into later. But I just want to say that this lady is the real deal. So anyway, no further ado, Marian, are you there?
I'm here. Thank you for having me, Alan, and for that wonderful introduction. Well,
that was just from my heart. I didn't write nothing down. I just spoke as I always do. Yeah. So I know you're a little bit nervous. It's the first time you've ever done a recording, but basically just treat it like a conversation, like we've had before. So over to you. Just if you want to tell me where it started for you, a little bit about your background.
Yes, I don't even know where to begin, but yeah, a little bit about me. Ever since I was younger, I can just tell you I'm one of those that people that have a lot of friends, you just can't see them. You know what I mean? One of those people.
Yeah.
I always knew and sensed that I was a little different. But you could tell, like even as a child with gifts, you say something to your mother, and they give you that weird look, so you could kind of tell that you're just a little different than other people. But even as a child, I knew that we had many, many, many different dimensions and portals on this planet. I'm just kind of filling you in on some of the gifts that I may have. I don't want to go too much me. I'm not about that at all. So, I had people that come to me. I knew that I was a healer as well because of just things I would do. If somebody was in pain, or they would always come. There's so many different kinds of healing, Alan, that people come to me every time they have a problem, and I would wonder, why are they coming to me constantly with their problems? And they would just say, I just feel so much better after talking to you. Wow. And like a lot of people, I believe, have this.
So the healing, what you did then, Manny, was that on a spiritual level as well as like people with physical ailments, or was it a mixture of the both together? What sort of healing was it?
One time there was a man that had a certain type of cancer, and he was a family member at the time. Okay, if you know what I mean. I was married at the time, and they said it was a Friday, and they said. He said, they found a spot in my leg. This was years ago, maybe 22 years ago or more. And we were over there having a barbecue, and he said, they found a spot in my leg, and we're worried about it. And I remember sitting on the floor and his leg was there next to me. And I remember I just put my hand on his leg and silently did a healing on him. And he didn't even really know it, but I know that come later on, I find out you have to actually ask a person before you offer healing. Okay, because it goes against people's free will. You can't just heal anybody. So come to find out, Monday came along and he said the spot was gone. They were amazed. They don't know. They were just in shock at the spot being gone, and he was clear of that. And I knew in my heart that he had received healing. So, all this time and growing up, like I said, dealing with ghosts, as you call them, seeing them, hearing them, telepathically having a connection with them. Just dealing with a kind of weird. I was just weird, known to be weird growing up in that sense. Anything that isn't of the norm, quote unquote norm, which I don't even know what is normal anymore. So it was just a little different. Predicting different things within the family. Okay, Uncle's sick. Oh yeah, well he's going to die, or he's going to transition. I would say, And they say, how did you know that after he transitioned? How would you know that? And then I realized that people sometimes don't like when you know things. So I would kind of just go within and just kind of keep some things to myself.
Yeah, I could imagine, It would be quite difficult, that maybe people thinking you're the Grim Reaper or something like that, and the people that don't know.
Oh, it even gets worse, Alan. It does get worse. Let me just tell you, because I just found comfort mostly in speaking with the entities, and my guides as well. My guides that would come forth and talk to me and teach me things, and they were like my best friends. They still are, more than the human.
So these entities, what you talk about, I mean, obviously we all know about astral entities and all the negatives and the false light and the reincarnation trap. So you, using your own discernment then, did you just know that these entities was of a, well, I don't even know what sort of term to use, a higher, maybe us, our higher selves, as self-helping ourselves, or people, higher selves of other people? Is that what guides are, these guides you talk about? Just to give people an idea, to clarify.
Well, if you're talking about higher self, that is us.
You broke up.
That would be Alan. Can you hear me now?
Hang on. You were just saying about higher selves. That's all I just heard. Higher selves. So if you want to explain that again.
Sure. A lot of people are confused about higher self or God self. This is just a non-physical version of yourself. That assists you while you're here, or guides you. You understand what I'm saying? Guides are a little different. I mean, you can even have a deceased loved one. Your father could be your guide. Here to help us along on our path while we're here on planet Earth, which God knows or Source knows we need help while we're here sometimes.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people are funny with the word God. So really, we don't need to add any. It's okay. It's God, Source, Prime Creator, whatever you want to call it.
I think that the reason is, Miriam, if you don't mind me saying, is people who listen to my show, and I am the same, is when we hear people speak about God, because of what we've realised of the false light and the false God, who is of the Bible, let's say, what's been hijacked and by religion, the one the sort of negative entity, what's in the astrals, what pretends to be God, and through religion. That's why sometimes it raises alarm bells with people. But I understand what you're saying. I mean, I use the word source that because of that, so people know when I'm saying source, they realise I mean the real. It's like, what we all came from. We've all got source in us, haven't we? We're all part of source, everything. So I just wanted to clarify that for anybody listening, that is what you're talking about when you use the word God source. That's exactly it, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is. I understand what you're saying as well. But God or Source, I think whatever makes you comfortable. Source, prime creator, it doesn't matter. Like I said, it's all the same thing, but I understand what you're saying, Alan, when you say the connection to, yeah, the negative and that whole thing. If you're awakened, you don't really use the word God anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So as growing up, I'm realizing I'm also a medical intuitive. I go up to people and I kind of do it's like a dissecting. I can see their insides suddenly. I can tell you which ailments they have. So, and not to be gross, but I can even sense the smell of a human.
Wow.
Right. So I can look at a picture of someone and know what is wrong with them, what their scent is. I always wondered, why do I have that gift now? I don't. Why do I need to know the smell of somebody?
Well, I've had a shower today, Miriam, so you're all right. I don't smell.
No, it's not. It's not like that. It's their actual unique scent.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of tried to calm that down a little bit because it gets a little annoying. So as I grow, as I learn, I learn more about me all the time and what I can do. But I will tell you that, okay, so my story is that when I hit, let's say 2010, okay?
Yeah.
2010, things started to really happen and change for me. 2010, I had a boyfriend from years ago, and we had broke up for a couple years. But it's one of those relationships,
Yeah.
that love-hate relationships. But long story short, he ended up getting murdered, and so I took that kind of hard. And then my brother ended up getting ill. He had a Crohn's disease illness since he was 7, but he was 38. He had surgery, which turned very bad. For the whole of 2011, I remember I was just taking care of him until he eventually passed in September of 2011. So all this happening to me, I will tell you, though, after my ex-boyfriend had got murdered in 2010, speaking to Spirit, this is why I'm telling you all this.
Yeah.
Talking to Spirit, they start talking to me about somebody by the name of Ryan Buell. I'm not sure if you're aware of who he is. He is on.
Go on. Explain for people listening. Just tell us exactly who he is, what he does.
He's a paranormal investigator. He is. He had a show called Paranormal State.
Oh yeah, that, yeah.
Yeah, on A&E, and I mean they're not doing it anymore. They finished that, but they kept my guides kept mentioning Ryan Buell, and I'm like, why are they talking about Ryan Buell? So it kind of planted a seed in my head about Ryan, and I come to realize he's playing a huge part in what I'm doing here. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to put all this together.
So what made you think he had a huge part in this role, and what is this role that you're speaking of? Did you know at the time exactly what that role was?
Well, they gave me little bits and pieces of what it is I was doing. They didn't flood me with everything, all the information at once,
right?
Which is a good thing. So they would start saying stuff like, yeah, but Ryan this, or if Ryan, we'll have to converse with Ryan, or stuff like that. I said, why? Who's this Ryan? Why is Ryan so involved in all of this? So I used to question that myself, and I know this is hard to believe, but Source also came through and started to speak to me as well. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So I had a Source in my guides that had come through, started to speak to me and give me little bits and pieces, talk to me about him. So now I'm realizing he's very involved in this, not yet knowing why, okay?
Yeah.
So I had built a love for him, not like that kind, but just a love for him on a soul level.
Yeah.
Knowing that him and I together are to do something, okay?
Okay.
Not knowing yet what it is. So as we go on, all of a sudden I find out he has pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
And I broke down. I was like, because here I just lost my brother, someone very dear to me, and my ex-love, of 4
Yeah.
years, murder, and I'm definitely now a recluse. I'm in my room all the time, and I'm talking to spirit, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and they're keeping me happening. This big mission that I'm trying to fill me in slowly and gently as to, hey, you're here to do something big, and let's begin, is what it is. So then I hear he has pancreatic cancer. I break down, and then I say, no. Why? Why does he have this cancer now? And Source said, stop. Don't worry, because you're going to offer him his healing. And I said, I'm going to offer him healing? And Source said yes. And I said, okay. I stopped crying, and I said, tell me more. And they said, you're going to, there was a retreat in 2012. Mind you, I didn't have any interest in watching Paranormal State or anything like that from before. But once I started talking about him, I took an interest in starting to watch, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he started to come to my mind more. I started to think about him more. And it went from there. So now they have, I found out they have retreats where you can go, and you can spend time with him, and you can go do these little ghost tours and stuff, okay?
Yeah.
So they say, you're going to go to this retreat, and it was in Virginia, I remember. And I remember I had to go on this huge trip, this driving trip with my mom, which took 13 hours,
Wow.
come back from that, and then, work it out with transportation and money and everything to go on this trip, which I'm going to drive by myself 8 hours. And that's not like me. I'm like, to go by myself. My family didn't even really argue it. It was like, it was all, the divine handled it. Like it was all taken care of.
When you say the divine, is that the same as Source, or is that something different?
It is, of course, Source. It's a pure form. It's how, do you ever hear someone say, I've been divinely healed? It's just straight from Source.
Right.
Is what it is.
Right.
That's what that means.
Right. Okay.
So then I end up, long story short, driving to Virginia to this retreat. And they tell me, don't worry, when you get there and when you do see him and it's time, it's like I was just like I knew what I was going to do. And they didn't even really tell me. It was just like I just, like, I don't know how to explain it. I just knew what I was doing there. Like,
yeah.
Okay,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
I was divinely guided to know what I was doing there. Okay, so I remember there was a table. He was talking about. We were told not to talk about his illness and stuff like that, which I could understand. So I walk up to a table, and sure enough, they're talking about his illness, his cancer, what he's been through. So I sat down and I joined in. Okay,
Yeah.
and so we talked about it for a few minutes, and then after that talk, I said, I said, Ryan, I need to talk to you. Can I have a minute with you? And he said, sure. So we went to the side, and I said, Ryan, I have gifts for you. And here, again, I'm just speaking from the divine like I was. Now I know what it was, Alan. I was doing the conscious trance channeling of the divine. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
So I say, I have gifts for you. Are you, and he said, what gifts? I said, I'm here to offer you healing. Are you willing to accept it? He said, yeah, well, how long does it take? I said, well, again, I'm not knowing. I said, well, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm thinking I'm going to put my hands on him like I did everybody else. And he said, sure. Yeah, no problem. So he ended up talking to fans and this and that, and we ended up going to this magnetic place. I forgot the name of it, where you can, walk on the walls, or you can, a chair is stuck on the side of the wall, and you can sit in the chair.
All right.
Yeah. One of those things. But so we ended up, I could feel, I got dizzy, which tells me that there's a lot of entities that have entered. You understand?
Yeah.
So as I'm hearing him talk to the fans and stuff, I'm in the breakfast nook area. I'm feeling dizzy, real dizzy. I know they've entered, and I know something's taken place.
So, when can you just clarify that when you say these entities have entered? Are you talking about the sort of disincarnated spirits? What to do with his work, what he does, or is that something to do with the healing he was getting? Can you just explain that bit?
Well, I guess it's not. I don't mean. What I mean is, I know something at that time. I'm telling you at the time what my awareness was. I can tell you after what I know it was. Okay.
Yeah.
So as I tell you the story, I don't know what's going on. I know that I'm feeling very dizzy. I know that the angels have entered. I know that something is divinely happening, and I'm there to offer him his healing. So again, I'm thinking I have to put my hands on him. Long story short, I don't have to put my hands on him. He's already received. There's been an exchange that's just happened between us. You understand?
Yeah.
So, I know that as we're going on our way to this magnetic place or whatever, I'm thinking I still have to put my hands on him, and I don't. So he's already received his healing. And we go to this place, and I'm looking at him like, are you going to ask me or not? Are you ready for this healing or not? And he's not asking me for it, and he's just busy with his fans. So I go up and I say, I guess you're just not ready for this healing. And he says, no, I've just been busy. Like I said, little did I know he's already received that.
Yeah.
So he gives me a hug, and we chat a little more, and he looks and he sees I'm troubled, and he says, don't worry, you'll see me again. And I wave him off. We wave as I'm driving off, and I got hit with a sadness I've never felt in my life. Never.
Yeah.
Like this. I cried and cried, and I couldn't stop crying, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. And I remember calling my sister. I had an 8-hour drive ahead of me, and I said, I can't stop crying. I've never felt such sadness. And I said, I don't know if I might need some help. I don't know how I'm going to get home. And I ended up eventually calming down. I pulled over, and I was able to carry out with the drive. So then when I get home, begins, Alan.
Marian, you're breaking up again. When you got home,
Now the information's...
Can you start again?
I said, when I got home, this is when everything started happening.
Right,
Okay. At this point now, I'm really conversing with spirit. They're telling me exactly what happened. Yes, he did receive the healing. They are now I'm starting to be, they're telling me to go into this conscious trance. Okay?
Yeah.
And once I do this, my room starts to fill with these entities. Okay? Let me tell you about it. This is what happens. So when I go, who I am is, I am the divine who's entered this earth. I'm here to assist Mother Earth, okay, with all these souls that are lingering, who have left this physical body, but have not gone home because either they're stuck in the matrix, or they're caught by the karmic, these negatives.
Yeah.
Or because of the false beliefs, the Bible, the Quran, they feel they're not worthy of the kingdom of heaven.
Right, I've got you. Yeah.
So they're lingering on Mother Earth, and Mother Earth has cried out for help. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and I'm just telling you everything I've learned, so not to go into long stories, but so I'm here to assist these souls, okay, which we call them, let me tell you what we call them, souls, seeking souls, interested in seeking self, okay?
Right, try and explain that in a simpler term. Then.
Okay.
Souls seeking souls. Go on.
Interested in seeking self. So we all here are seeking self, to know who we are, to remember who we are here. Yeah. Now, all these souls, like Ryan being a paranormal investigator, he's collecting these souls.
Right,
This
got
I
you.
come to find out. He's collecting all these lost souls. These paranormal investigators, they go and they want to get their proof to everybody that there's
Yeah,
life after death. Their intentions are good, but they're not sending these souls anywhere. Yeah, they're not giving them the release to go
yeah,
home. Do you
got you.
understand?
I do, yeah.
So he's collecting all these souls, all these years that he's doing it, just like they all are. But he's, of course, agreed, him and I, to do this. So he's collecting them, collecting them, collecting them. So when I went to go and I offered him myself, which is a piece of the divine,
Yeah.
okay, he accepted it, and then he handed me all those souls that he has collected over all those years. And so what happened was, and it took me all these years to figure all this out and have them tell me, but all these entities are entering my room now, okay?
Yep.
When I'm calling in and I'm trans channeling the divine, they're entering my room. They're entering my vibration, okay? I'm literally, how do I explain it?
Could I help out here? Right, the picture I've got in my head, just to make it simpler for people to see, you are basically a tool of source, and the source is coming through you, who you are, Marian, and then you are like a sort of a magnet, let's say, for all these lost souls. They're coming to you, but then the source is in you, through you, to them, and that's taking them back to wherever they may go to, the source or whatever, but they're just healed of all that negative energy, what entrapped them on this plane, and then they go to where they should go to. Is that basically what you're trying to say?
There's more to it than that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a soul rescue. Right. Yeah. It's what happens is, yes, you say source, the divine, as a pure form, is channeled through me. And when they say you are the divine, and I say we are all the divine, please explain. What do you mean? And they say, well, no, you're a pure form. You have come here. Source has sent you here to assist to assist Mother Earth and then the releasing of these souls, and to have them exit the matrix, and also you're here to help those in physical as well, and all this is going to help to raise the collective consciousness on this planet. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, that part of the story, that's when you started talking to me. That's what resonates me the most, because, as you know, when we first talked, I was very sceptical about all these talking of guides and spirits and this, but that itself for me really is the anchor of this story, because, as we all know, people listening to this, that my usual people, let's say there may be lots more besides that, but my usual listeners know all about that, and so that really resonates with me. So basically, all these souls what you had to give the healing to get away from Mother Earth. How does that exactly help Mother Earth? And is it just like a releasing of all the negativity, the sort of thing?
It's just okay. So the reason why I've come, like I said, is Mother Earth has cried out for help. Yeah. There's too much resistance on Mother Earth, and these entities are residing, or these souls, are residing on Mother Earth, and there's too much.
Right.
There's too much. Mother Earth said, "Please help me. Get these souls off of me." You understand?
Yeah.
Mother Earth is always loving. You understand what I'm saying? But Mother Earth is getting ready to transition herself. Yeah. So this is the time, where Source said, okay, here's, there's so many people assisting. Yes, I understand. Not just myself, but the gifts that I've come forth to offer. I don't know. That's my part in it. Yeah. I don't like the me too much of that.
I totally understand. That means like my part.
I'm just trying to tell my story, That's all.
Well, you're doing it very well, dear. So carry on.
Thank you. And I hope I'm, being clear to everybody listening so they understand. But so as I'm in my room after I had seen Ryan, we had our thing together. What had taken place with him is I went there, and a source said to me, "You're the one who offered yourself to him. You are, which is offered you know how we seek self. You understand?
Yep.
To know who we are. I offered him a piece of myself to this is how he actually received the healing as well, which is a piece of the divine. Do you understand?
Right. Yeah.
I offered him a piece of the divine, which is myself. And all of this. What do you mean by this? And trying to understand it. But it's okay as long as Mother Earth is getting helped and the people, the souls on this earth are being assisted. That's what matters. Well, we spend most of our lives trying to figure out who we are, seeking ourselves. So I'm in my room. They enter my room in big groups. So they when they enter my room, I tell them the story. They say, tell us about how you offered him healing, who you are, why you're here. They ask me all these questions. So I would explain to them the best I know how, who I am, why I offered myself to him, and in turn would offer them divine enlightenment, healing. They would agree to transition. Basically say, yeah, you know what, we want healing like you've healed him. We want this healing. We agree to transition, and then they would enter my vibration, and I would literally feel them. I would feel them attached to me.
Yep.
And I would say, okay, everybody, get ready to release your resistance. I would take a deep breath in, and I'd blow out, and I would release, and I'd feel them release from me.
Wow.
And I did this, Alan, I've been doing this since seeing Ryan. I've been doing this every day. I've been a recluse. I've been...
For how long?
For this August, he received his... I offered myself to him, and he received August 26th of 2012. So we are in August now of 2015. Yeah. So all this time...
3 years doing that every night. Wow.
And I mean no friends, no nothing, no doing anything, just a total recluse, being in my room, having these souls come through, assisting and releasing, you understand, offering divine enlightenment and healing, excuse me, in assisting this planet, basically, the best way I can. And letting everybody know that Source has sent help, and I'm not the only help. There's many, many here that are awakening and assisting. So we all do our part.
It seems to me, Marian, though, the ones that are sent here with more, as you put it, more of a purer source of divine, or whatever name you want to put on it, they always seem to be people like yourself, though, what starts off from a very early age, knowing stuff, doing stuff, healing people, whereas people like myself, I've not woke up until I was in my, sort of maybe 10 years ago, so late 30s, mid 30s, and even then I never had any gifts. I've just I've come to realise recently I seem to have this knowing inside me. I know stuff, I discern stuff, but it's nothing like what you talk about. So yeah, I understand that, because there's so many people out there what have got these sorts of gifts, and maybe they've got stories to tell, or they're getting out there, they're doing things. Whatever, same as you, slightly different. It all adds together, doesn't it? It's all what we're doing. I mean, for me personally, just doing this recording with you, and what you just said then about what you're actually doing, I've always wanted to do that. I can remember being a small child. I thought, how cool would it be if I could get, because I used to watch all these ghost series. It's about all them haunted people, and everyone were always scared. And I used to think, oh, bless them. It must be horrible stuck there in the middle of nowhere, not knowing who you are and lost. I thought I'd love to get them and send them on to wherever they're supposed to go. And here we are talking about it, and you're actually doing it. So it's like, wow, that's a bit of...
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so cute, Alan. But, excuse me, as I'm growing, and my sister, God love her, I love her. She's very close with my sister. She says, why don't you get involved with people like yourself, people that can see ghosts and talk to ghosts, and do something with yourself, Yeah. This is, so in 2009, I said, okay. So I start getting, ghost adventures. I'll start going to their retreats. I'll start mingling with people like myself, So I start going to these functions and, and realizing it's not for me.
Yeah.
I felt like, okay, these people are, oh, I can feel the go. I'm like, oh, this is not me. And every time, excuse me, it would get down to actually doing the ghost hunting, somebody would stop me. It
Yeah.
would be like, oh yeah, they'd say, no, no, no. I remember, at one of the retreats for Ghost Adventures, I had, Father Calder, which has transitioned since then, may he rest in peace. Um, I remember coming up to him and talking to him, and him and I had so much in common about, dealing with also the negatives, because I will have to tell you I've dealt with those.
Yeah.
So he says to me, there was going to be a ghost hunt the next day, and I just told him a little bit about who I was and my story, and he said, don't you dare go. He said, you will be attacked. It was at Waverly Hills. He said, don't you dare go. You're going to be attacked if you go. And I said, okay, I'm not going. Sure enough, other people I found out were attacked. Like the what you call priests and stuff that were there, that had walked through. Scratch marks, everything. And here I'm already dealing with stuff in my hotel room. I'm dealing with stuff. Yeah, I wake up and I find my bathtub water's been running all night, and I never even turned it on, and I'm sensing spirit. It's just, I don't know. I mean, it's like you feel, you kind of do when you deal with stuff like this. And I know that other people that have had encounters, let's just say, dealing with ghosts or stuff like that, you can feel lonely because you have no one to talk to. You don't. If they're not dealing with it, they look at you weird. Like, what are you talking about? Are you okay? Or you're just suddenly labeled different.
Yeah.
So then you tend to not talk about these things. I know that doing what I was doing for 3 years since connecting with Ryan, there was full-time work. And a lot of times sitting in my room, I did deal with a lot of negatives would come through and, rattle my walls or, flicker my daughter's light on and off, or they would do stuff. And I would tell them, hey, and is those that with that as well to receive, exit the room, and a lot of times they would just, of course I had assistance,
Yeah, Marian, can I just stop you there if you can hear me? You broke up for the past 30 seconds when you just said something about when negatives come into your room, but then I lost the rest.
Okay, well, of course when you're dealing with positive, you're going to deal with negative. It's all part of being here. So a lot of times those would come through that I got some nasty ones sometimes that would come through that, they needed someone to talk to. They needed enlightenment, and that's what I offered. I offered them some divine enlightenment and explained to them, I would say, are you ready to seek self instead of seek souls? And they would say, some of them would say, yes, yeah, I'm ready. After telling them about the story, they always wanted to hear about Ryan. Well, how did you heal Ryan? And why can't you offer yourself to me? Why did you offer yourself to him? And I would say, I am offering it to you. They get tricky.
Yeah.
They get a little tricky. I say, I offer you healing. Yes, I offered Ryan myself. I offer you healing. And then they'd say, yes, okay. And so they would receive. But some of them got nasty, and I would just send them away.
So would you say, Marian, that the nasty ones, not the ones that you hear, but the nasty ones, would you say the different levels of, I call them astral entities. That's the term I use, and I know it's all hierarchical in their realm. So would you say that the more nasty ones are the ones higher up the hierarchy? Let's say further and further away from source, so to speak. That the connection, they've just lost it more and more. Do you think is that true, or am I wrong?
They have definitely. Excuse me. You can't 100% disconnect from source. Excuse me. I need a drink of water.
Yeah, no worries. Have a drink. I'll have one two of them while you're taking yours. 2 secs. Right. Ready when you are.
Yeah, I don't want any interference with telling my story, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Suddenly the voice wants to go, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so, yeah, okay, so these, yeah, they have, what people don't understand is source benefits from those that have disconnected to this degree as well. Did you know that?
Yes, I know that person, but I would love to explain that for everyone listening, how they benefit, please.
Well, sometimes, okay, we have to know who we're not to better know who we are, correct?
Right. Oh, yep.
And that's how that helps source. Source experiences self through us.
Yep.
Through us. Okay?
Yep. Totally understand
That's
that.
why
Yeah.
that's why we were created, because source knew itself conceptually but not experientially, and this is why we're here. Source experiences experientially through us, through life through us, which is good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Source created all of it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
some people say,
it's only duality. It's only the duality of this particular existence we're in now, the good and the bad. Really, I mean, I know me and you both know, as you just said, though, that statement, sources of meat is experience, the good and the bad, because it's all just experience, isn't it? In a sort of really, really bigger picture, if you can get away from the personal tragedies on Earth and all the horrible things that happen when you see it from the really bigger picture. I've always said it's one big, I call it one big massive game. I've said it numerous times on videos, and I stick by it now, and it's just, to me, is, and we're just part of it. I'd ask you one thing though, what I'm still not sure of myself, I have to be, I try to get as much knowing as I can, but when you say these souls go wherever they go to, yeah, for instance, let's start there. So some of these souls, what you've sent on their way, do they all go to the same place? Do they all go to the individual's places, what they're supposed to, what they was destined to go to? Do you know where they go?
Okay, so they go to the enlightened Earth.
Right, okay.
Okay, so go ahead, I'm sorry.
Right, so the enlightened Earth, is that another physical 3D Earth, what's sort of just a little bit off the frequency of the one we're on, or is it a pure energy one? Do you know the answers to that? What this enlightened Earth actually is?
The excuse me. Wow, the enlightened Earth. I'm trying to talk, but my voice is starting to go. Yeah, sorry about that.
Pull that frog out, Marian. Pull it out.
Okay. So the enlightened Earth is where they have gone, where they're in a holding, basically. This is where they've all received their healing. Yeah. They have all agreed to transition and also to be, I believe. See, I'm still learning about this as we go as well.
Right. Okay.
So I believe they're all in holding until, they tell me that Ryan has to hear how he healed himself. And once that happens, I believe that there's going to be a release of some sort of these entities, because what I was told and what I was finding out is that when he received when I offered him myself and he offered me all these entities, they all needed time to transition. So that's why they'd come by and they'd ask. They'd received. They are now in their holding on the enlightened Earth. Okay.
Yeah.
So it gives them all a chance to come forth and ask and hear the story. Okay, to receive their enlightenment, which is the story, and then their healing, which comes after the story when they connect to my vibration, and then I release them.
Right.
Excuse me. So they're there, from what I understand, until. Which everybody I think does. Another gift I have is I can tell when someone's going to transition.
Yeah.
Once they set their time with Source to transition, I somehow just know. Like I had that happen with one of my cousin's husband. I remember I had this premonition. I said, he's not going to live, but maybe another year and a half.
Yeah.
And I confirmed it with my guides, and they said, yes, that's true. And I said, well, I want some proof of that. I want him to tell me. this is trans. So going there, my family, and he walks up to me and he says, you know, Marianne, he said, I'll live another year, year and a half tops.
Wow. So
and I said, oh, yeah, he told me. And I said, really? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, all right, thanks. You know, his name is Mike. I said, thanks, Mike. And he goes, okay. So a year and a half tops is what he lived. He transitioned a year and a half later. Then he would call, but see, not just do I know, but they ask for me before they go. And I'm still learning about all this. I'm trying to understand who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would ask my guide, they say, just go to his room, call on the divine, which means I'd go into conscious channeling the divine, bringing the divine within my vehicle. So I say, okay, so I go to the room. I before I get to the room, I call them forth. I feel them enter, the divine enter, and I enter the room, and come to know it now, he's receiving a healing so that he doesn't have to go through the matrix and get caught in there. Yeah. Do you understand?
Yeah.
He's just received a healing from me that he can go straight to the to source. Get it? Where he needs to go.
Yeah.
So, and this also happened with another family member as well, and I knew when she was going to go to the day. I knew exact day and year. And she was, and I wasn't that close to her. I mean, not like we talked every day.
Yeah. Just could I just ask something? I've got a burning question myself. So just so I can, if we can verify this for myself, basically, and maybe other people listening, so is there a difference then between, let's say that like the person that told you got a year and a half to go, and he went straight away from the matrix and went straight back to source or wherever he was destined to go, but the ones what have been stuck on Earth that needed, let's say, a lot more of the divine, let's say, to get them to this enlightened Earth. Is this enlightened Earth, is it just for the people that you've been saving and other people, let's say, on the Earth what's doing the same thing, for the ones what's been in a real lower vibration and they need a lot more help to get to where they need to, whereas the people you've seen, like your relatives exactly, they're not like trapped like that, so they've gone directly to source, let's say. Am I right in that thinking that?
I'm trying to understand the question you're asking.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I can see it in my mind's right. Okay, put it this way: the people that have come to your room, the ones that you've saved via with the Ryan part of the story, right? They've gone to this enlightened Earth. Is this enlightened Earth, let's say, for want of a better word, a little dimension what you and Ryan have created because of that sharing, what you've got, that special sharing, and it's a dimension where only the people what you save and other people may save go to?
I believe so. I believe it is. I mean, again, it's...
So it's a bit like a rest stop for the really lower vibrations and wore out energies that need to really regenerate themselves through the healing before they go to, let's say I get shot tomorrow. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go to this enlightened Earth, what you describe. I'm just going to go straight to where I should go, source, I reckon, or wherever. So that's what I'm trying to say. Do you believe there's a difference between the two?
This is stuff I ask as well. I'm telling you. I just know that I know that they have to agree that they are willing to transition, and they're willing to. These are souls that have been in limbo. Yeah. They have not expanded. They have not grown. They're just in limbo.
Yeah.
So I believe
extra healing, aren't they?
That's why I say, are you ready? Are you souls ready to seek self? See?
Yeah.
And so now you understand when I offered him myself as well. When he seeks self, or I'm seeking self, I'm seeking him. You get it?
Yeah.
And he's seeking me as well. Well, should be. But I know that. That's why I tell these entities, I say, you ready to see? I tell them what they tell me to tell them, and I feel in my heart, and I know that this is what they need. They're crying for help. Some of them are like, please help me.
Well,
say, I'm here to help you. Don't worry. Yeah. So they're off of Mother Earth.
Yeah.
And they're on this enlightened earth. Get it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I understand that now. I've got my head around exactly what the difference between the
Yeah.
two. So, have you actually, well, you and other people who may be doing the same thing, let's say, is the Earth now free of all those trapped entities? Is that part of the job done now?
A lot is, and I have personally, because I have another gift, which is bilocating.
Yeah,
Okay.
as you've
I have
proved,
personally,
and she's proved this to me, by the way. I'll just say this before you say it. The other day, we was messaging on Facebook. I was sat with my wife, Jill, and I asked a bit for some proof of this bilocating, and she described my kitchen, the colour of the kitchen, exactly the shape of it, and the plants I've got on my windowsill. And she also described my brother, what he was wearing, how he was sat, and other stuff. So I could definitely say from X, whatever, was it 8,000 mile away or whatever, you definitely did it, yeah.
uh, thank you. I mean, this is stuff that I'm realizing as well because I have kind of put my gifts away. Uh, I don't have anyone to talk to really about these things because they'll say, yeah, okay, Marianne.
I can imagine,
All right.
yeah.
Did you see another ghost again today? Or, you know what I mean? Like,
Have you been
well,
dropping acid again, have you, Marian? Yeah, okay, and then you see tomorrow, yeah.
I have to laugh about it because, I mean, there's times I do cry about it. I get sad because I can't talk to anybody about who I am. And, you know, like you, it's just, oh, what a breath of fresh air. Someone who understands, who is awakened, someone I can talk to about these things that actually isn't just hearing, but is listening and is interested.
Yeah.
And it's so nice, you know, to have that because I don't have that.
That is a gift I have had from a young child. As I spoke to you about before, I was always known as Agony Al because everyone came to me with their problems, and I always listened to them. So, yeah, glad to be of help.
We're chosen for a reason. I feel that, you know, the first time I listened to you talking to Michelle Walling, and I could just hear it in your voice, just love. You're just love.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, yeah. So I definitely chose you to come out with this for a reason. For you've been chosen for that.
Oh, sorry,
agony.
you was breaking up then. Just start your sentence again. Sorry.
I said, so agony, Al. I'm sorry that I don't know. I'm trying to tell everybody my story. There's so much to tell. It's like.
Well, I think you're doing a good job there up to now. I mean, do you want me to ask you a few questions to try and help me along?
Well, what I want to tell you is I want to finish my story about my aunt. Okay.
Yeah.
So, because I started it and I didn't finish it, and then we'll go on to whatever you want. But
yeah,
my aunt, when I told you we're. You know, it's not like we talked every day on the phone, okay? And here, when she's getting ready to transition, she starts asking for me. And my uncle is like, okay, why do you want her? And she said, I need to see Marianne. Bring her to me. Bring her to me, please. And he was very, very, very confused about this, didn't understand it. And, you know, I think he might be an atheist, my uncle, but he's confused about you know, the whole spiritual side of things and if there's a God and stuff. But at least that's what I pick up on him. But so, anyways, long story short, I ended up calling the divine, you know, conscious trance channeling, and entered her room, just kind of spoke with her a little bit, touched her. Didn't even need to do that. I come to realize I don't have to touch you to receive. You just have to be in you know, where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know. And then after that, she was fine.
Wow.
Yeah, she didn't ask for me again. She had received what she needed to, and she transitioned. So, see, you have to understand that all this happening, I'm like, what? Who am I? Okay, what's going on? Why did I just do that? So, you know, then I come to realize that she needed to heal, to receive the healing, so she cannot get caught in this matrix and this net, you know, and be able to go where she needed to go. So that now I'm catching on to things. And she passed in October 1st. And I remember her granddaughters wedding was November 1st, and people come up to me, her grandchildren, and they'd say, "Is she gonna make it till November 1st? Is she going to the wedding?" I said, "If you want the truth is she's not. No, she will transition." And I tell them the day, and she transitioned that same day. So my family has nothing to do with me anymore. Long story. I, okay, I have to laugh. Otherwise, because they don't know what to make of me.
Yeah.
They're like, "Are you? How do you know when someone's going to die? Are you the Grim Reaper?" They're always afraid of what I'm going to say. I can't even, if they're talking to me in conversation, they look at me like, "What is she going to say next?" Or I'll say, "Well, how was your husband today?" They'll be, "Why? What'd you see?"
Well, they're just in fear, aren't they? It's just fear because they haven't got the knowledge. It's not their fault they've not got the knowledge, but that's what it is. It's the fear, isn't it? Oh yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
I don't tell them, listen, my mother goes and she starts to talk and she starts to brag about me because my mother is somebody that I talk to about things.
All right, yeah.
So she ruined it. She went and told that I knew about Mike and I knew about my Aunt Evelyn, and she got the word out in the family more and more. They always knew I was different when I was little.
Yeah.
And then, so she kind of ruined it for me in her bragging moments. So now they just think they don't know what to make of me, like I said, and we don't really talk that much, but I do love my family. And I said, if they only knew what was offered to their mother, how much I love her. If they only knew what that was offered to her, they would love me. They would, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We're all on different paths at different times, though, Marian, aren't we? We all get to the same destination in the end. We just all take longer to get there, some are quicker than others on different paths. So, yeah, they all understand you in the end, don't they? So, just chill. That's my advice.
I love everybody. I love all people. It doesn't matter. You know, if they have issues with me, that's okay too. I just, I don't know what's going to take place. I know that I've been trying to get in touch with Mr. Buell for some time, but he just, I guess it's meant that he hear it this way.
Yeah.
And like I said, something is going to happen once he hears how he healed himself.
Yeah.
When I say that is when a healer comes and offers anybody healing, let's just say any healer, that person has to take it and use that energy that's provided and heal themselves with it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I do.
That's why I say that I offer people gifts from God and gifts from the divine. This is why I've entered this earth to assist Mother Earth and assist all the souls on her in delivering divine enlightenment and healing to all of God's messengers or sources messengers. You understand?
Yeah, I do. So let's, all the ones you've healed already, the ones that was trapped. What do you feel your mission is after that? If that's the word mission, whatever. What do you think you're here to do? Are you here to actually help more just people who's dying? Maybe is it that what you've done already? Is the biolocating? Maybe that's going to be part of a gift where you don't have to physically be with them. You can biolocate to them and help them transition, or is it going to be something else? Do you know what's in store next?
I would like to know. I know that I've done a lot for the non-physical and releasing and getting them where they need to be, which is off of Mother Earth, and onto the enlightened Earth. And I'm not sure. Excuse me, I'm not sure, but I'm sure that the path will be shown to me.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Right. Yeah. So we'll see what happens,
Well, I think personally myself, the healing side of what you can do on physical ailments, as well as, let's say, healing as helping people to lift the veil of the matrix, what's around people, what's still asleep. If this, let's just do a little hypothesis. Let's say this video for some reason goes viral and it gets onto people's channels. I've got a lot more viewers than mine. Maybe you could set something up where you did a lot of people at once, let's say, and helped. I don't know. It's just me just talking. I have no idea if that's what you're going to do, but it seems you have a lot of gifts to give, to people that need it, really. But like I said, I suppose the point is they actually need to give their consent, don't they? And if they're fast asleep still, they're not going to give that, are they? I don't know. I'm just talking off the top of my head here, Marian. Take the notice of me.
No, I mean, I'm not sure. I think that, this is my story coming out is part of the process and of assisting people in awakening. But I know that, like I said, I'm coming to realize more and more what gifts I have, what other gifts. And
talk about those then.
I think that you and I, since we started talking, have changed. And I realized that not only, I think I have a gift of offering healing, even just talking to somebody.
Yeah. Well, it worked for me. People listening to this might have heard me talk on other shows about my father when he died. I thought I was doing the right thing at the time, telling him to go to the light, and that's the afterlife, and whatever you do, don't get stuck here, because I didn't want him to be one of these stuck entities. Now, when he passed, I thought, oh, he's gone to the light. Then, to my horror, I discovered Cameron Day's truths, and then I come to realise about the reincarnation trap and the light being that trap. And I thought, oh no, what have I done? I've sent my own father to the trap. And I have to say, even though I've been on a big awakening trip, I always had that fear that that's what I've done to him. But then as I sort of become a little bit more higher my vibration, whatever you want to call it, I thought to myself, well, at least if he's reincarnated into a baby now, at least he's going to be awake. He's more chance of him getting awake second time round. But when I talk to you, and you tell me basically that no, he's not stuck in the Matrix, and you gave me proof by telling me where he was, because I asked the questions, for instance, what did he do in his favourite pastime when he was fit, and you tell me straight away, in a park with a dog, and that's exactly what he did. And all the other, personal stuff I won't go into on show, but basically she proves to me that he is there and he's not in a trap. He's not in the Matrix at all. He's where he's supposed to be, and that healed me a lot, I have to say. And since you did that with me, that's helped me. It just got rid of that guilt, basically. I suppose it released that guilt what I thought I'd had, and that's helped me. That's how I feel more. I have this sort of knowing what's growing inside. I think that's the gift I've got, and it's one of the reasons I think you were attracted to talking to me online, is because I could tell, for me, you resonate with me a lot. You know what I mean? Whereas a lot of people, you might not have done. So, yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much. You're talking about your loved one being stuck, like being caught up in that, and I actually had that fear with my brother as well.
Yeah.
And come to find out, no, thank God. I mean, source. But
it's just terminology. I mean, we established at the beginning of the show what we both mean by those words, not the biblical, astral, false light stuff. It's right. So
even as a child, I knew there was something definitely not right with the whole religion thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into bashing or anything like that, but in my heart, I knew I was somebody that would sit in church and say, how is this priest standing there telling me about a God, well, I know God to be, or source, at the time it was just God, to be this loving God. God is love. And then at the same time telling me if I don't do this or don't, I'm a sinner and I'm going to go to hell if I don't follow the Ten Commandments. And I thought, what are you talking about? I look at him like, are you serious? Do you hear what you're saying?
Yeah.
And this caused me, even at 10 years old, I lived in these townhouses, and I would, take this church bus used to come and pick us up, and take us to church. And in my trying to find out, my curiosity, I always had a love for source, for just this connection, And I remember going there, and you would have to go. This is a church where you would go and you'd be saved. You had to, you'd have to dedicate your life to Jesus Christ and to be saved. And they would come and they would kneel down in the front, and then people would be taken in the back. And suddenly, these people gave up their life. They said, I'm a sinner and Jesus Christ help me. And you know what I mean, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
to me, I was like, what's going on? I mean, I was very involved with that. And then I thought, this isn't right, you know. I even won a Bible for Sailing with Christ contest, they called it. I brought so many people up to the front. I thought I was doing good, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like baptized 3 or 4 times. And this is all in seeking self to figure out what's going on. And I also experienced the speaking of tongues, is it?
Yeah.
Where somebody says something in, you know, the language, and then there's an interpreter, and I said, it's something that the so-called devil doesn't understand. And then I said, well, okay, well, now he knows because someone just interpreted it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how stupid is this?
Yeah.
I can't understand it. But then as I grew and I started to realize that, you know what, it was my heart. It was my spirit. Everything was telling me that there was something wrong.
Yeah.
Even now, awakened, I have my mother, she hears what I say, and she says, yeah, you know, that makes sense. And I say, so you love me, right, Mom? She says, of course I love you. And I say, oh, okay, so you love me, but if I murdered somebody, would you put me in a pit, a fire pit? She said, never. And I said, but God, you guys all think God would do that, or Source? Do you think there's somehow that, you know, someone's going to throw you in some pit? And she goes, no, you do make sense when you talk. And I say, Source is love. Source is love.
It's breaking the program, isn't it? That's what it is. They've all been programmed by religion, and they don't even look at it with a conscious heart or even common sense. It's just, oh yeah, okay, Father, yes, that must be right, yeah, okay. And when you put it in those terms to your mum, she sees sense, doesn't she?
Yeah, so people don't understand that. Honestly, there's hell and heaven right here with us.
Yeah.
I would tell my mom stuff when I was younger. I'd say, Mom, if you can take 2 steps to the right, you can be in a different dimension. She'd say, what? What are you talking about? Like that, we're going to ever understand. You know, I have to mix my language, and you know, and they're like, oh, you'll find somebody.
Oh dear. You are breaking up quite a bit there, but I think we got the gist of it.
What did you hear last? What did you hear last, Alan?
Oh, I've got a mind blank now. About 30 seconds, but it was a bit hit and missy. So if you want to go over that, but I don't know.
Did you get the part where I said there's heaven and hell right here on this planet?
That's I got that, yes. And then go on. Say it again from there.
Yeah, and you know what? Like you said, this isn't one big game here. It is. It's just one huge game that a lot of people take quite seriously, which you do when you're here, especially if you're not awake. You know what I mean?
Yep. That's how it's designed, isn't it? But being taken over, I should say. I believe that the game that we play is not the game that we created for ourselves. I think this is an organic matrix that's been put over what we created to experience ourselves by these negative energies, and that's what we've got to escape from to get back to those original creation, what we made for ourselves to play the game in. That's what I think it is.
Well, we're going to get back to the real stuff, because the real organic template, because the people are waking up, okay, at a very, very fast rate. And again, I will tell people that Source has sent help, and so just to know that, because I think some people feel, you know, like that they've been abandoned, and also people need to know, and I've had to come to realize this, is that you must give your guides permission. You must ask for help and give permission to, and you must say the forces of the divine source light, because don't forget, we have the false light as well.
Yep.
So be careful.
I think for me personally, if I was going to say anything along the lines of needing help, which we've talked about this, it's myself I rely on, but if I was, definitely I would say something to do on the lines of any energies, entities that have my best interests at heart. I don't consent to any what don't, because I think that'll stop any negatives coming in, yeah. But this is where me and you had some conversation before, and like I said, I suppose it's the new knowledge I acquired, I should say, about the astral entities and all that. That's why I just stick to just my inner knowing and myself. I just rely on myself. I connect to Mother Earth. I ground to her because I believe she, as we know, is here for us. She's part of us. We're part of her. So I use her as a good protection, let's say, just by grounding to her and connecting with nature. But I do rely on myself a lot, and I think that's where a lot of the problems lie. I think, Marian, a lot of these people out there, they're always looking for somebody to help them out. They never realise that the self in them is the answers. They are the creation. They are source. That's what they've got to realise. And once they realise that, and I know it's a huge realise for some people, once they do, all that fear just goes like a click of a finger, and you're out of the matrix. You ain't in it no more. Because I know I'm not, and I know you're not.
I know. People need to understand is that they are extensions of Source, and just to know who you are, know your power, know how special you are, and each one of us has gifts. Each one of us, there's not one better than the other here. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
We all have something to offer, and that's the thing. So many people don't have any self-worth. They don't love themselves. They think, well, who am I? And that's the little me. That's because we got caught up in this non-organic template as well. And so we think that we're just, little me, we're nothing. Who are we? Again, the religions teach that.
Yeah, of course they do.
That we're nothing.
Science does. Science teaches
we're sinners.
That, yeah.
We're sinners. We're, who are you? Who are we?
Yeah.
Extensions of Source.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're powerful, and people do need to know. It's very, very important, like you said. They need to learn how to ground themselves. And there's so many things on the internet that will teach you how to ground, and even just walking barefoot on Mother Earth.
Best thing ever, yeah.
Can assist you with that, and just also know that you have to not just protect you have to protect your mind as well. There are many negative thought forms. You'll think it's your own thoughts. It's not.
No.
It's them talking to you. You have to always say, I do not consent to any of this negativity, and remove it. Say, I remove all negativity in all its forms. You ask your guides. You ask divines for slight. Always protect yourself and be aware. That's what is very important, is for people to be aware and say, hey, that really is not my thought. That was kind of weird. What was that, And be aware and catch it,
Well, how many stories do you hear of people when they've actually murdered somebody? Well, I don't know what came over me. I don't even remember it. But yet, there they are with a knife in the hand. It does happen. Yeah. It does. I mean, other thought forms. I mean, we could talk forever about those and all the devices, but physical, non-physical, what has been made to put these thought forms in our head, and there's artificial intelligence. There's a whole array of it. Yeah, but you just need to, like you say, you need to be in your own power and take a step back and think, hang on, that wasn't me thinking that. It's like people with vices. I mean, I can speak from personal experience. I mean, whatever your vice may be, you'll be doing your vice and you'll enjoy your vice, but you'll know it's not what you should be doing, but yet you still do it, and you think, why am I doing this? And then it's only when you realise the actual need for that vice, whatever it may be, it could be anything, as simple as a cigarette, to a drink, to drugs, pornography, whatever it may be, or caffeine, sugar, you shouldn't be having it, but yet you seem to. But when you realise that want, that need is not you, it's that thought form that's making you do it, to stop your body being in prime conditions so it can vibrate with, an antenna what's sharpened, let's say. Yeah, and once you realise that, then that vice just goes away. And I can speak from personal experience with that, as you know. So, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. Very proud of you.
Yeah, and I didn't know any of that until I started talking to you. I used to think that, what I've just explained, I used to think to myself, why am I still doing these things when I know I shouldn't? It's not from a guilt or it's a sin to do that, but no, I just knew that it was holding me down more vibrationally. And then when you come to realise that, you think, oh yeah, I know what that is now. See you later. And then the new you
Exactly.
appears.
Exactly. I know. I used to be a heavy smoker. I loved smoking. And I told my sister at one point, I said, I'm never going to quit smoking. I said, I love it too much. I don't care. And just gave me this sad look, like, what? Are you kidding? Well, she did it. She did it as well. But speaking of vices, and I remember Source coming through saying, would you consider giving up this life pattern, it was called.
Yeah.
And I knew at that point, come on, if you have Source saying that, you can't say, oh, no, I'm going to continue doing this. But I cried. I said, oh, I just love it so much, you know. But I knew I had to let go, and I did. I gave it up. And I did it for me.
But that love, it's not real love for a cigarette. It's that need, that want for one, the enjoyment of it. What's not really you, the better, you know what I mean? That is the false part, the false thought, forms, I should say, that make you think that you want it, love it, need it. Yeah.
Well, of course. I mean, it's something that I think the negatives kind of put on you, and they say, how can I go and say, hey, you know what? I'm the healer from the divine, and have a cigarette in my hand. Yeah. Watch for some healing.
Yeah. You want some crack while at it? I've got a pint of lager as well. Yeah. But apart from that.
It's crazy. Even if you smell of it and you're saying, I'm a healer, you know, I'm a divine healer from Source, and they say, yeah, well, you stink like ashes, you know, you stink like an ashtray. You can't. You can just, you know, it's not pure. It's not something that your body is a temple, and, you know. So I'm done with it, and I feel I've been done since, maybe 2 years now or more.
Yeah. I used to smoke myself. I was a smoker for not that long, actually. But no, I gave it up about 25 years ago now, something like that, yeah. It is. I mean, the thing is, go on, sorry.
Do you understand that you're a totally different Alan now? I mean, literally a completely different Alan, and I'm a completely different Marianne.
Yes, I do understand exactly what you mean. Please explain for the audience if to put it in simple terms, what you mean. We both know what we mean, but you want to try and explain that?
Wow. We are, oh my God, we're changing. Every second we are changing who we are. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to explain. I guess they might have to watch Bashar for that one.
Right, I tell you what, the way I in my own head sort of think what we're saying is, I think of our reality, what we experience, as on a film reel. And one little film reel is what I am this second, and what I'm the next second is that film reel. But the 1 second after the one before is a different one, but it's going along in a sequence to make it look like we're going through linear time and we're the same person, but we're not. So when you give up that vice or whatever, then you aren't that person that had that vice, because it's gone and it's off you no more. So yeah, and I see as a sequential different, like, layers of dimensions what we're all going from 1 second to the next. And I've actually heard physicists talk of theories along these lines, you know what I mean, about different, how reality works. Yeah, so that's what I think it means. Does that explain how you think about it?
Well, yeah, we're changing reality every second. We're changing reality, and it just looks the same. We keep it looking the same, so we don't even realize that we're doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, every second our realities are changing. So every second, literally, you're a new person. So, like, you know, like when I quit smoking, I said, well, I've never smoked before. But maybe this other Marianne did that you knew years ago, but me, I've never been a smoker.
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You're anew every second. You understand? I know it's really hard to understand, but...
No, I totally get it personally myself, yeah, I understand. Yeah.
There'll be some people that'll understand what I'm saying, and others that might just have to research it a little more, but it's all part of the awakening process, the learning of all this stuff. So, but I'm trying to think of if we left anything out.
I think we've covered what we set out to sort of talk about in a roundabout way. I think you've covered everything. If you can't think of anything else, we'll just wrap it up if you want.
I know that as far as Ryan goes, and I know he's going to hear this, so I know that he's had. I'm trying to get in touch with him. He wouldn't answer, but I know that he has a lot of, when it's kind of famous,
Yeah.
You got people that, like he said, he's had death threats over stupid stuff, and of course that can make some people hesitant. But I think that, like I said, it was just not the right time. I was trying to force something maybe that wasn't supposed to happen at that time.
Yeah.
And now
I think so.
I think he's just supposed to hear it, do this, and take it from there. I don't know if he's gonna. We'll just see. I'll just let Source handle it from here. That's all.
Well, I'll tell you to help Source along. When you create your Facebook page just to accompany this recording, I'll put it in the credits at the bottom of the YouTube video in the more info bit. And also, then you've got a file, or you'll have a YouTube video. If you email him the YouTube video and say, Ryan, take a look at this, I'm sure if he's meant to see it, he'll click on the link and just see it directly himself. So do that if I were you.
And I think I've emailed him stuff. He has like over 200,000 followers.
So he gets a lot of emails. Well, the thing is, like you just said, if when it's meant to happen, it will. So just don't worry about it. If that's part of the process, then it will happen when it's meant to happen, won't it?
It will. And the retreat I told you about that I went to.
Yeah.
When I went to go offer myself, all those people there, I was told, at a soul level, knew I was going to be there as well and received healing. But not the same as he did. Like, I offered him part of myself. You get it?
Yeah.
Where he received something different. But they did receive healing as well. There's a lot of talking and tears that went on. But you said, what is it I'm going to do from this point on? I know that they've been asking and telling me that I'm going to train. How there's...
Marian, if you can hear me, you broke up.
Dancing, which I've been doing.
You broke up then. The start here, what are you going to do from now on?
Well, you know how I've been doing the conscious trance channeling of the divine.
Yeah.
They're mentioning something about doing full trance, which I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll see what happens with that one. You know how some people go into full trance? I just, that kind of stuff is a little bit weird.
Yeah, I would be very, well, yeah, it wouldn't be for me, but that's me and you, yeah, so you've had the experiences all your life, haven't you? Yeah. Well,
I have, so we'll see what happens, right, from here.
Yep.
And I don't know if he's involved in it or not. I think so. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I think if we've just about finished, I'd just like to just finish the recording by just letting everyone know out there, if you're listening. I mean, there might be lots of people out there that's got little gifts, all those little things you can do, what you're good at. Mine's listening to people. Mine's brought Miriam out and to tell me this story. So whatever your little gifts you've got, don't put them down. They're the gifts you've been given for a reason, and we're all here to awaken everyone else up and escape this matrix what we're in. Hence my name of my show, Escape the Prison Matrix. So just all I'm saying is don't put yourself down, realise what you've got and realise what you are, because there's a lot more to life than meets the eye from all this rubbish you see on TV. So that's not my last words. So, Marian, I would like to thank you so much for that. That was a really, really interesting story, and I can't wait to get it out there and see what other people think. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you, Alan, for having me, and thank you, everybody, for listening. If you have any questions, you feel free to message me. Like, again, Alan said, there's going to be links underneath the video.
Yeah.
And I'll be happy to answer any questions. I'm sure there'll be more videos anyway.
Oh, yeah, we can make it. Yep, of course. Yeah, no problems. Right, then. I'll say goodbye then. Thanks a lot, love, again. See you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.